I find the cynicism within journalism quite disturbing in the name of objectivity or the name of balance, especially broadcast journalism, where they'll just, in our country, they'll put one line Democrat and one line Republican. Well, the presenter, he knows they're both lying. Um, but they've broken that contract with the viewer or the contract. Primarily a writer, although I do broadcast stuff, but we've broken that contract, which is to help them understand the truth.
Mhm.
So in the press club, going back to the National Press Club of Australia, um, because I'm a reporter, I heard from sources that they'd reached out to the Israeli ambassador, former lieutenant colonel in the IDF, not to replace me. The press club was very kind of tricky about how they responded. I never said that he was replacing me. They reached out for him to talk, which is true. And I said, and I wrote a column, and I giving a talk tonight that'll, uh, you know, deal with this. I mean, balance is good if it's, but you don't balance truth with lies. So he, as a lieutenant colonel in the IDF, could explain all sorts of things that I know, but from the outside, like how Israel uses AI for targeting, what the ratio of acceptable civilian casualties. I think it's 20 if you kill a Hamas fighter, and it's hundreds if you're
Mhm.
targeting a Hamas commander. This is all part of the rules of engagement. And so if he wanted to tell us, he knows more than I do, obviously, about it, but he isn't. I went back and looked, and he's spewing garbage and lies, just like all the other Israeli ambassadors and diplomats about beheaded babies and sexual assault and human shields. I mean, the irony is that it's the Israelis who regularly use Palestinians as human shields. They will dress them up in Israeli uniforms and then usually often handcuff them or bind their hands and then force them to go ahead of Israeli units into tunnels and into houses where they're potentially booby trapped. That's very common. Um, so, uh, so if you had real balance, then you would have somebody from inside the system, because as a reporter, was on the receiving end of Israeli airstrikes and sniper fire and everything else. You would have somebody, and that you would balance it. You would have a balance of truth with truth. You would kind of complete the circle.
Mhm.
That's good journalism.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, good journalism is, kind of going the way of the dinosaur.